Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory as always goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, for Kaha Kodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this one will be edifying to the elect.
9-9. So I even tried to do a bit of Swiss language. But these man ain't even got a language. Besides the point, that means I can speak in German, Sasa degree, West French, and a bit of Italian. So no rapper, Mandem FC Swiss. Play the bloody of the bloodiest music. So I had a look at the comments. Chelsea Air Ballers. Now that's Mandem FC beta version. Mandem FC under 17s. Oh, QB will be so happy about this. What's even crazier? Why does Broski look like not me, Madawake? And behind him someone's running in QB with just sign. Broski, do you want to be a footballer or do you want to be a rapper? Look, I can so.
I'll just mute him there. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because, most people, a lot of people, when they see things like this, they get excited, or they do videos like him. They're not really understanding why this is the case, because it's very common, it's very popular in the football world. So this is a Switzerland under 17 football team, and that would be a predominantly Edomite looking race. I'm sorry, not race, but country, right? So when it comes to these European countries, that's where the Edomites dwell. But when it comes to sports and talent, you're going to see Jake, because Jake is the best of the best. Jake is above all nations. Jake is stronger than all nations. Jake is the most talented. Israelites are the most talented people on the planet Earth. And what I mean by Jake is Jacob, right? Jake is short for Jacob. So that's why you see young so-called Negro men here representing Switzerland, because we have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We have been dispersed amongst the Gentiles for centuries, man. For hundreds of years, right? According to the Bible, right? This has been happening to our people. So what happens is the Israelite men that go amongst the heathen women, they get fruitful and they multiply and they have babies, right? And this is all going back to the promises that Yahweh Shem Yahushai made to Israel. And I'm gonna get those precepts as well. But he mentioned something as well, as you see here, Mandem FC. And the term Mandem, it really originates from Jamaica, but in the UK and Toronto, people, have turned it into more of a slang, and it just represents your friends, your associates, your pretty much your nation, people that look like you, pretty much. People that have style, people that have swag, that dress a certain way. Because the spirit bears witness, man. You can see how Jake, the style or swagger of Jake here, you can see how they're posing in the picture. Edomites don't have this swagger sauce, but it's not all about the outward appearance, because you can still judge an Israelite by just the things that the spirit is doing in the vessel, right? So your spirit's going to bear witness when you see these young men and say, yeah, these are Israelite men, even though they're playing for Switzerland, even though they're born in Switzerland. Because when it comes to the sport of football and you look on the national team of France, you're always going to see 8+ so-called Negro-looking men on the team. But I'm here to tell you that all men in this starting 11 are Israelite men, from number 21, number 1, number 9, number 7. Because of their spirit, the things that they do, how they move. Esau don't move like that, right, man? And if you look here again, this guy here, he's a Latin tribe. His name is Teo Hernandez, right? And he plays for France. So it's not just the so-called Negro-looking men that are in these football teams. It's the Israelite men in general, whether the Latin tribe, whether Northern Kingdom or Southern Kingdom, man. Because we are the salt of the earth. We are the formers of all things. right? And Griezmann here as well, number 7, which arguably he is, the one of the best players on the team. Not even arguably, he is. He's an Israelite man as well, man. So it's not about just the appearance. When you look at the female team as well, you're gonna see a lot of so-called Negro-looking women as well. But it's not about the appearance, man. But in this case, it's evident because they have the appearance of Negroes, right? But let's go into a few precepts, just to get the spiritual understanding of what's going on here. Let's go to Genesis, right? Because as I mentioned before, the Lord dispersed in Israel amongst all nations. Israel is scattered amongst all nations, as we all know, or as we all should know. And again, it's not about how you look, it's about your spirit. The spirit bears witness. All right, so this is Genesis 22, chapter 22, verse 17. That in blessing I will bless thee and multiply, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven and as the sand which is upon the sea shore, and thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies. Right? And this is speaking to Abraham and his descendants that were given the promise. The promise was passed down from Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. The promise is to Israel. To Israel's seed will be as the stars of the sea. Sorry, the stars of the sky and the sand of the sea. Right? Means it cannot be numbered. That we will be the most in numbers. We will be the largest nation. That's what it's saying. So if you go to verse 32, my apologies. Let's see here, verse 12. It says, "And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude." So you cannot number how many Israelites are on the planet Earth, because we look like everybody. You have Israelites that look like Bruce Lee. You have Israelites that look like Putin. You have Israelites that look like everybody, man. You get the gist, man. You get the idea. You can't just look on a man and just think that, oh yeah, he's a heathen because he doesn't look like a Negro. No, you have to watch the spirit. When it comes to basketball, you have Larry Bird, you have Luka Doncic, you have Dirk Nowitzki. Those men are all Israelites, man. All Israelite men. It's Israelite versus Israelite, man. As Edler said a few weeks ago, when it comes to sports, it's Jake against Jake. Because when you look at a lot of these national teams, you see mostly Jake, man, and it's not a coincidence. Yeah, I broke it down. Israelite men have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and they get fruitful and they multiply. They impregnate women. And when you impregnate women, what happens? Babies are born. And these babies grew up, and these babies are the talented Israelite men, women, and children that you see from the youth system up until they're pros, right? So when it comes to basketball, 90% of the league is Jake. And I'm being kind by saying 90%. It's probably more. But for sure, 90% of the league, the NBA is Jake's, man. And 90% of professional footballers are Israelite men as well. So it just goes back to the promises, man. As the Lord promised that Israel will be the most in numbers. Let me get this here in Hosea, and then I'll close, because this is pretty straightforward. You have a lot of people that have, a black fetish. Like, they're just so obsessed with the skin color of being black. And don't get me wrong, dark skin is beautiful, but it doesn't make you special because it's something normal. Everybody should be dark, right? All nations, even Esau at one point. Sorry, not Esau, because they have the mark of Cain. Esau was born red, but all other nations were dark skin. So it's not something special, it's just normal. It's kind of abnormal not to have, melanated skin. So this is Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So I'm just reading this to point out that Israel cannot be numbered because Israel is the largest nation on the planet Earth. So with being the largest nation on the planet Earth, you're going to have Israelites that are scattered amongst the Hamites, which are today called Africans. You so-called Negroes believe that you're Africans, but you're not. You just look similar to them. But real Hamites have a different appearance, right? So you're going to have Israelites scattered in Asia that look like, Koreans. They look like Cambodians. You're going to have Israelites that look like Russians, right? So that's pretty much the point, man. There's so much more supporting precepts that you can get that actually say the same thing. This is Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 22. And as the hosts of heaven cannot be numbered, you can't number the skies. And the heaven this is referring to is the skies, right? Neither the sand of the sea measured, so you can't measure the sands of the sea. So will I multiply the seed of David, my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me. And this is coming from the promise that was given unto Abraham, Isaac, and unto Jacob. David and the Levites are descendants of Israel. So this is just a promise. This is just the Lord word does not go out void. So when you see things like this, it's pretty normal, man. Pretty normal. Pretty normal thing. But for the unlearned and the people in the world, they're amazed at these things. They're like, whoa, look, so many nice black young men, or whatever they think, whatever it is, man. This has been happening for thousands of years. Like Israel have always been there. Esau tries to block so-called black men out of history and give the impression that we were just slaves and we weren't there, even in his rulership. Even now, you can see he's still in his rulership, but in history, the history that we can't, prove so much that these things were happening that Esau can manipulate and say, all right, Jake wasn't here, and remove this and remove that and hide this type of history and information. Through the Spirit, we know that a lot of these men that they paint as Edomites were Israelites, man, because we were still there. The fruitful and multiplying, the multiplying, didn't just begin now. And the dispersing didn't just begin now. This was happening for thousands of years. So nothing is new under the sun. It's always been like this, right? You always had Israelites that look like the heathen. You always had Israelites that look like this, that had the Israelite appearance. So there's so much that Esau can hide, but in reality, everything just shows and speaks for itself. So with that, all praise and honor and glory goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, Rakak Shalom.